What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I am going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Liverpool away from home at the Anfield. So let's just get straight into today's video. So we made two changes from the last game against Norwich. Talk about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Williams, Matic, Fred, Pereira, James and Martial. Overall reaction: disappointing, annoying, frustrating, not good enough. Defending in times was dreadful, wrong team selection. If Ollie hadn't started Pereira and Shaw, United would have had half a chance. Oh well, we can't do anything about it. I don't know what to say. Anyway guys, let's just dive in straight to the questions. What did I make of the performance? The performance on the whole was just not good enough, I thought. I mean, this is a rivalry between United and Liverpool, and that game was just not good enough from our players. We were dreadful, we were not good enough. I thought we stood a chance against Liverpool because we're the only team that have stopped Liverpool from going on that winning run, and they've literally won every single game apart from drawing at Old Trafford. So I thought the performance was dreadful, not good enough. I mean, people are praising Luke Shaw. I thought it was dreadful. Given that real fan opinion, Luke Shaw was dreadful. You can't stop giving him praise and motivation. He was dreadful. He was dreadful, and I think he was the real reason why we lost that game. If we hadn't started Luke Shaw and Pereira, we would have probably had half a chance of beating them. If he would have started Greenwood and Mata, we would have had half a chance of winning this game at the end of the day. But first half wasn't good enough. I thought we had an okay start. It wasn't the best start to the game, but then literally after that, Liverpool just came onto us. They literally piled the pressure onto us. They put us on the back foot. We might have defended well in times, but still it was comical in times. In times, the defending was just poor, just not good enough. They created chances, more chances than us, United. We cleared our lines well, but in times we weren't good enough in doing that. Then Liverpool just kept coming, kept on piling that pressure on, and then we make a schoolboy error, and Van Dijk goes and scores. And now I just want to go on to those tactics what Ollie had. I mean, pretty much every other United fan have picked up on it. He's got Williams marking Van Dijk. Brandon Williams is only 5'7", and bloody Van Dijk is 6'4". How is an 18-year-old boy gonna out-jump Van Dijk that is 6'4" and he's 5'7"? There's a difference there. There's a massive difference there. You should be having Maguire marking Van Dijk, not Williams marking Van Dijk. It's clear. It's a clear and obvious error. The coaching staff are a joke, telling him to mark Van Dijk in the first place. It should be Maguire and Van Dijk. And the first goal should never have been allowed because Joe Gomez wrapped his arms around Maguire from stopping him jumping, so he couldn't get to the ball. So the referee should be going to his monitor, and that should not have been allowed. And at the end of the day, they should have won this 1-0. And I'm not happy of the way we lost that game because, we're not good enough. How can we say how can you say that was not as bad because we just lacked on quality? No, you got to think about this rivalry between us and Liverpool. And I don't care if Liverpool are better than us and stuff like that. Yes, maybe in a few years we might be able to battle with them. But look what happened at Old Trafford. We drew with them 1-1, and we go into Anfield with half a chance, and Ollie throws out a stupid bloody team that we shouldn't have started. Starting Luke Shaw and Pereira. Don't start players for the sake of it. Don't start players just because we've got a game in midweek. You've got to think about it. We're trying to chase down the top four here, and we could have easily won that game, and we could have closed the gap to Chelsea. They lost, and this is how shit this league is. Other teams around us are dropping points, and we can't capitalise on it. We're so inconsistent this season, and it's got to change. Ollie makes some good and bad decisions, but he's going to have to learn these bad decisions pretty quick. He's going to have to, and this can't go on next season. He's got to get these players at the right mentality, the right mindset going into every single game. He's got to have the players playing in the right positions, you know. And to be fair, you know, when Liverpool's quick attacking came out, they stretched us out, and most of the time our defenders weren't to be seen, you know. It was like as if we were bloody a bunch of hot dogs and we weren't good enough. So the defence really for a start for me was not good enough. The midfield wise in the first half, there was no creativity. I mean, by playing Pereira is not gonna improve this team, is it? You cannot play players for the sake of it. You've got to play the players that you think are in form, like Mata. Mata's had 2 great games. He got an assist against Norwich, and he scored against Wolves. If he's showing that form, you've got to start these players. Don't start these players for the sake of it. You know, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And don't just say because it wasn't as bad as we thought, it was because we had an off day. No, you cannot say that. Look at the rivalry between us and Liverpool. You know, we both hate each other, and you cannot say that just because we were lacked on quality. It's not good enough. You've got to say we weren't good enough at the end of the day. Liverpool were the better team with the better tactics, and we just were absolutely dreadful at the end of the day. You've got to accept it and move on, because Liverpool were the better team at the end of the day, and we couldn't match them in the first half whatsoever. So we're not good enough in the first half. The first half was absolutely poor. I thought second half we came out, again Liverpool just got on the counter-attack. They absolutely bullied us in that second half. And then when those changes came on, they made an impact, and that changed the game. And I mean, by starting that 5-3-2 or whatever we played, we haven't played that formation before. And yes, we may have not played that 5 out. We're playing 5 defenders in a long time. I know we've got to adapt to it, but still, you cannot defend like that. The way how we let that Salah goal in, it wasn't good enough, and I'm really depressed of how we let that Salah goal in, because Salah, that's his first time he's scored that game. He scored against Manchester United. So overall, we weren't good enough. And don't just come out and say we weren't as bad as we thought. It was just an off day. We've got to put that behind us. No, you cannot say that. Look at the rivalry between us and Liverpool, and then come back to me, you know. So it's not good enough. We didn't perform at our best. You cannot say it was an off day because we lacked on quality. We still weren't good enough. We've got to accept it as fans that Liverpool were better on the day but couldn't match them, and that was it. I thought second half we were a little bit better when the subs made an impact, likes of Mata and Greenwood. Don't know why he didn't start that 4-2-3-1. And that lost us the game at the end of the day. We weren't good enough. We've got to accept that we weren't good enough. Liverpool were the better team, with the better tactics, and they were the better team, and they won the game. We have to accept it and move on. What did Solskjaer get wrong? I mean, first off, I'm going to start off by saying he got the team selection wrong. Now, not all of it was wrong. I think by starting Luke Shaw and Pereira was wrong. People are phrasing Luke Shaw. I thought it was dreadful. You can't phrase him. It was poor. It was poor. You can't play at centre-back. If you wanted to play a centre-back, Ollie came out and said that Bailey was fit for this one. If you're on the bench and if you're fit, you play them. So why didn't Bailey not start that? You know, I'm talking facts here. So first off, we shouldn't have played Shaw. Could have played another centre-back. We had 2 centre-backs on the bench. 2 fit centre-backs on the bench. It's not good enough. This is Shaw's first game back after that knock that he had in the warm-up against Norwich. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. By playing Pereira wasn't good enough as well. You know, he's the one that you're relying on the creativity. We couldn't see that in the first half. We saw that in the second half as well. So by playing them 2 was wrong. He should have played Mata and Greenwood. Poor tactics was another one. I mean, he's got Brandon Williams marking Van Dijk, which was not good enough on corners. I mean, Brandon Williams is a young lad. He's 18, 17. And you've got Van Dijk that's in his mid-20s. You've got Van Dijk's 6'4" centre-back, and you've got Brandon Williams that's a left-back and he's 5'7". It's not good enough. How can you be man-marking the best defender in the world and you've got a left-back doing that? It should be Maguire and Van Dijk. Maguire's like the same height as Van Dijk. It's not good enough. Poor fucking tactics by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Not good enough. Formation, shouldn't have gone with that 5-3-2. Should have gone with the 3-4-1-2. So formation was wrong as well. The centre-back partnership, we're going to start looking at that now. I think we're all going to think now Maguire and Lindelof are just not working. I think we've got to see a little bit more of Twanzebe now with Jones and Bailey back fit. We've got to see that more of a centre-back partnership, and it's going to come up with a conclusion for next season of which is the best centre-back partnership. That's got to change as well. So I think the centre-back partnership was wrong as well, or was it just that both of the centre-backs just didn't play well, you know? So yeah, that's what Solskjaer got wrong at the end of the day. What went wrong? Hardly no creativity, especially in the first half. We really struggled in the midfield in the first half as well. We lacked in the final third. We lacked quality in the team. We lacked the end product. Defending was comical in times. I mean, you can't be blaming it on injuries, because at the end of the day, we've got 11 experienced players out there, and you can't be blaming it on the likes of Pogba, McTominay, Rashford for being out injured. We've got 11 experienced players out there that should be going out there with fight, passion, pride, playing for the badge, playing for the club, and you've got to give it your absolute everything, you know. So don't come back to me saying, you know, we showed spirit, we showed character. Where was that in the first half, you know? We couldn't see any of that, so it wasn't good enough. Who stood out in the game? The only stood out for me was Fred. Nobody else stood out in that game. Last game in January against Burnley on Wednesday. Time to bounce back. Of course, we've got to bounce back now against Burnley. Crucial game against Burnley now, because Burnley got a good win against Leicester at home. So yeah, we've got to bounce back now. We need a reaction out of our players against Burnley now, and got to look forward to the Wednesday night game now. Got a time to bounce back now, and got to put it right now, and got to train well, got to prepare well. Mentally, physically, we've got to be on it from minute 1 to minute 90. We know that Burnley are going to give us a good game. Burnley have got a good Burnley play well at Old Trafford, so we've got to be at our best, and we've got to react now, and we've got to get a win now. So yeah, we've got to beat Burnley now. It's time to bounce back now against Burnley. How do we beat Burnley? Burnley, I watched a bit of Burnley and Leicester on the weekend. I thought Burnley started off slow. I think there was times where they did, you know, one too many touches when it wasn't necessary. I thought Burnley played well. You know, Burnley got the win against Leicester, but a slight different Burnley that I saw from when United played them. But you know what, Leicester are not playing their best themselves. So I think this game came at the right time for Burnley, and Burnley showed that, proved it, and they got the win against Leicester. But the way we're going to have to beat Burnley is we're going to have a quick and bright start into the game. The movement needs to be quick. We need to be bright and sharp on the ball. We need the transition quick from defence to attack. We need the intensity, the tempo. Everything's got to be there, spot on the day against Burnley. Burnley are going to give us a good game. Burnley like an away day to Old Trafford. Not only just the players, but the fans love it there as well. So I think it's all about, from minute 1 to minute 90, we've got to get grafting. We've got to play by the referee's whistle. We've got to give it absolutely everything. It's the last game in January now. We've got to give it everything. It's time to bounce back now. We've got to put it right now. We cannot afford to lose to Burnley. We cannot afford to lose someone stupid now. And you know, there's other teams around us that have got some big fixtures coming up ahead, and this is an opportunity for us to get the 3 points and to put it right now against Burnley. So the way we're going to have to beat them is by creating the chances, taking on the chances as well. So that's going to be so crucial in the game that we're going to have to really come out with a bright and quick start. We need the energy in the team. We need everything there, spot on. So, you know, Burnley are going to give it everything. They like a away day at Old Trafford. We're going to have to get grafting from minute 1 to minute 90. And it might be a long night. No Rashford, he's injured. And we need to get in a replacement now. So, yeah, I think it could be a close game against Burnley. They'll give it absolutely everything against us. Getting into the stats now, possession-wise for Liverpool was 53.3%. For Man United, it was 46.7%. Goals for Liverpool, it was 2, and for Man United, it was 0. Total shots for Liverpool, it was 16, and for Man United, it was 9. Shots on target for Liverpool, it was 5, and for Man United, it was 4. Shot accuracy for Liverpool, it was 31.2%, and for Man United, it was 44.4%. Shots inside the box for Liverpool, it was 12, and for Man United, it was 4. Shots outside the box for Liverpool, it was 4, and for Man United, it was 5. Total passes for Liverpool, it was 504 passes, and for Man United, it was 448 passes. Outpassed us, Liverpool, not good enough. Pass accuracy for Liverpool, it was 78.8%, and for Man United, it was bang on 79%, actually. I don't know how we've got more of a pass accuracy than Liverpool. Don't know how it works out, to be fair. Getting into the substitutions now, Pereira went off for Mata. Talk about Pereira's performance. Should have atoned for a half where he was out of his depth but failed to connect with Wan-Bissaka's cross. So out of his depth, he gives out of form Jesse Lingard hope. Williams came off for green. We'll talk about Brandon's performance, thrown to the wolves with the task of marking Van Dijk at the corner. Did not embrace himself overall. Shaw went off for Dalot. Talk about Shaw's performance. Had only started as an luxury centre-back once before and scored an own goal. Actually acquitted himself surprisingly well at Anfield. Onwards and upwards, we've got Burnley next. Burnley sat 14th in the table. Now, like I said before, they've just played us about 23 days ago. We won 2-0 at Turf Moor. Burnley have been scoring at least 1 goal a game and nearly conceding 2 goals a game, so we might see, a 2-1 win to the Reds here. Burnley have only scored 26 goals and conceded 38 goals so far this season. They are ranked the 3rd for conceding the most goals so far this season. Burnley haven't been at their potential best recently, but they love an away day at Old Trafford. Burnley have lost 12 games and they've won 8 games. Burnley's last 3 games they've lost 2-1 to Villa away from home. They lost to Chelsea 3-0 away from home, and they won at home to Leicester 2-1. So that means they've lost 2 games and won 1. They're getting there again, Burnley. What that means now is, Burnley got a fantastic win against Leicester City. So that means they've got the winning mentality back. They've lifted the confidence in the team. They've lifted the mood in the dressing room again. The players have got smiles back on their faces again. So they'll be looking forward to this game against Manchester United. They'll be looking to push us to our absolute limits against us. So it's not going to be easy against Burnley, because Burnley, they like to give us a good game all the time. We're going to have to be at our best. We're going to have to really react well. We're going to have to get the best of our players. The players know that they've got to react. The players know they've got to win. And this is a game that we've got to win, because other teams around us have got some big games. And this is an opportunity for us now to put it right and to get the 3 points on Wednesday night. But they will be looking to push on against Man United and give it their best. They will, because they love an away day at Old Trafford. The thing is about Burnley though as well, they're a well-structured team, they're a well-set-out team, but there's times where Sean Dyche tells his players what to do, and I think the players just ignore his instructions. I think this is a game now for Burnley to really listen to his instructions of what he's got to say to the players to get the message across. But what we need to do now to go and beat Burnley is we need to come out quick. We need a quick and bright start from the players. We need energy in the team. We need the intensity, the tempo. We've got to show that we want this game more than them. We've got to fight from minute 1 to minute 90. We need to show the character, the fight, the spirit, the passion, the pride. We've got to play for the badge. We've got to play for the club. We've got injuries at the minute. Still, we're going to have 11 players out there, 11 experienced players out there. We're going to have to give it absolutely everything against Burnley. Burnley, they like to have a good away day at United. So we've got to be mentally, physically switched on at all times. We need the mindset there as well in the team. We need to be focused, switched on at all times. Got to prepare well for this game, mentally, physically as well. We need to go in with the right mentality, the right mindset into the game, and we cannot afford to slip. We cannot afford to make too many mistakes. We made too many errors and mistakes against Liverpool. Put it right now against Burnley. This is the last game in January. We've got to push on now. We need to give it absolutely everything against Burnley, because Burnley will come with a game plan. They'll come with the tactics. They're very well organised. They're well structured in times. I mean, they started slowly against Leicester, but they ended it on a high, and they got a good victory against Leicester. But that game probably came at the right time for Burnley, and this is probably not coming at the right time for us. So for us now, we've got to prepare well for this game. We're going to be physically, mentally on it at all times. We've got to prepare well for this game. We need the absolute backing from the fans. The fans are going to be there again in the stadium, chanting again to the board. especially Woodward and the Glazers. Looking forward to hear that once again on TV. Burnley will come with a game plan, they'll come with the tactics. We're going to be mentally, physically switched on at all times, especially the centre-backs as well. I think got to go back now to the 4-2-3-1 and go and play at our potential best. Go back to our normal formation with the attacking lineup. We've got nothing to lose against Burnley. Burnley will look to put it right again. Obviously go and push on and get that momentum back in the team now. I think we've just got to be switched on at all times. Never mind sitting back deep, capitalising on a mistake. Got to chase down the game. You need smart, intelligent play. I think when they switch off, we've got to capitalise. So don't sit back and wait for them to make a mistake. We've got to be really attacking them. So we've got to just be there on the day, turn up, give them a good game, because Burnley, they'll look to give us a good game, you know. They've drawn the last couple of games at Old Trafford, and we've got to put that to a stop now, and we've got to try and beat them now. I think for me, this is a poor Burnley team, and if we can't beat Burnley during the week, there's going to be more questions to be asked. There'll be more questions about Ollie, of his future at United. Where do we go? We need major surgery in this team, but we need to put it right now against Burnley. Ollie needs to pick the right team. He needs to put the players in the right positions. He needs to balance the team out right. The structure in the team needs to be right. We need depth in the team, and he needs to select the right formation for the game. Get back to that 4-2-3-1, that attacking lineup once again, and start Greenwood and Mata. Never mind this doing it for the sake of it. Go with a team that's good enough to go and beat these teams. Never mind playing these players for the sake of it. You've got to play the players that are good enough to get us over the line, to get us the victory. The last time United beat Burnley at home was on Thursday the 12th of February 2015, and it ended 3-1 to the Reds. Can it come back and haunt them just less than 5 years ago? Burnley have never beaten Man United at Old Trafford before, so they'll look to try and get that win against us as well. The players to look out for is Tarkowski, me, Hendrick, Westwood, Cork, McNeil, Lennon, Brady, Barnes, Wood, Rodriguez and Vidra. Hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next couple of days. Over and out. Peace.